trust this guy.
Here he comes from inside his own 5. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. They'll put this one in play first snap of the drive from the 25. They'll go to the counter play. There he goes. Good call, good execution as they move the chains and they have a first down at the 38.
That's the beauty of misdirection in the run game, right? You try to show the defense one look and then you come back and hit them the other way when they're not expecting it.
It's 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Draw play, quarterback keeps it. They'll rip off 8 on that play. It's 2nd and 2.
We love to see this on offense. Early in drives, getting that kind of yardage keeps you ahead of the chains.
The Panthers can really attack on this 2nd and short. Caught behind the line. It's Thomas. They'll mark him out of bounds right at the 45-yard line.
So difficult because my eyes tell me as a defensive guy, he's handing it off. The offensive line's block and run. I got to go get it. The quarterback pulls it, throws it to the right. It's kind of like that hidden hat game. Like, where's the ball? I'm always trying to find that guy.
And this one will be stopped for no gain. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Looking for space. It's Ncaa. And the ball slipped out. Defense falls on the ball. Going to be a turnover. And they were channeling their inner Mike the Tiger. Don't you think, Mike? A big paw in there to swat that thing free the way the Bayou Bengals do.
Yeah, and when you're the secondary and you're flying up, great job understanding. The guy's already kind of slowing down a little bit, but where do I put my head? I put my head on the football, get my hand on the football. Those guys, those DBs from LSU really understanding that flying up, making the big play.
And how about the keen eyes and sharp awareness from the coach to challenge that call, and the officials agree it'll go his way. Looking to move the chains. They throw it complete to the left. Turning it on. Touchdown, Panthers. He broke away from the defense, and they couldn't catch him.
And that is just outstanding execution on that pass play. Great route by the receiver. Good timing on the throw by the QB. Receiver catches it in stride, turns on the jets, and is gone.
We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, it is now a final in the Big Ten, and a game I think a lot of folks will want to see. Nebraska went into hostile territory and came away with a convincing victory. The Huskers always seem to get everyone's best punch, but today they were the ones who delivered the knockout. No cupcakes this week, fellas. This Big Ten battle was much anticipated, and at least one side can say it's...
And here's a fumble way behind the line. He's got the ball, and he'll try to pick up a few.
Well, ball security doesn't just apply to running backs and receivers. QB's got to keep 2 hands on the ball as well. And they're very lucky after that fumble that the offense jumped on.
And the Tigers with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Rushes on him. Got it in the middle. It's Green. Several defenders get an assist on that tackle.
Well, you hear all the time that the tight end's the QB's best friend. You saw a perfect example of it on that last play, right? 2nd down, you need to pick up some positive yards to keep this 3rd down manageable. Really nice job of executing that.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. Well, the quarterback can make a big play when he starts moving around. He dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. Looks as if LSU will line up to punt it away. First time we've seen their punt team this afternoon. Boots his first of the day away. He was called on 4 times in the victory last week. Makes a move. He did a great job finding some running room on that return and was able to set up the offense with good field position. They'll have to hustle if they want to get off another snap before the end of the period. To the air on first down. Finds his tight end. And after the tackle, that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with second down. Looking for a crease to the left. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
Great job by the defense. Everybody firing off the ball, hitting their guys, holding their gaps, running to the football, nowhere to go.
They are calling for their defense in Baton Rouge. A huge third down coming up. Quarterback extends the play. A strike downfield. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! The mantra is always finish, and they're trying to do that here in the regular season with this Week 12 performance.
Yards after catch. That's what this guy gives you. That was a simple slant pass. He caught it, made guys miss, showed you the speed, and it was pay dirt from there. What can you say about this guy's athleticism, man? He is such a weapon.
He'll start the return inside his 5. Able to find enough room to get it out across the 25. He's brought down at the 26. They'll get this drive started from their own 26. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Got a man. It's Green. Oh, he's got some space. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Looking for a man. It's Van Buren. Fires to the big fella. And he got enough for the first down, but somebody put the hit stick upside his head. Finally, this offense starting to show a little juice. They've got a 1st and 10. They'll go back to the ground. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
Run game is good. Balance is good. Now listen, if the run game isn't good, then you got to pass the football a little bit more. But sometimes you got to keep them honest, take them chunk by chunk.
To the air on second down. With the catch, it's Durham. And they pick up just a few on that completion. Well, he comes up with the reception, but not a lot of room to run after that.
Yeah, and I like the QB doing this. I mean, I'm going to find ways to give him the football and see if he can make a miss. And I'm going to bet most of the time that my guy is a little bit more athletic than that defensive guy. Defense won this battle, but I like trying to get this guy the ball in space.
In the gun and looking to throw on third down. It's caught. Goes out of bounds, but not before he gets it to the edge of the red zone right at the 20. The Tigers will have it 1st and 10. The give to the tailback. He'll get that one all the way down to the 4-yard line before he stopped.
How about the defense trying to slow this dude down? He's a Heisman contender for a reason. He's so difficult to tackle, and what a challenge. All week long, they knew that they had to key on this guy and really try to at least limit him if they were going to win.
The Tigers have it in scoring position on 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he gets it back to the 4-yard line. No farther than that, no gain on the play. They've pushed it ahead to the 4. They'll try to cash in on 2nd and goal. From the gun, running back on the move. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Tiger. After the score, we'll see if that breathes a little fire into him.
And you see it all the time, right? You get that score, you get that energy, the crowd gets involved, and the defense got to get out and get you a stop. But this was step 1 to getting them back in the ballgame.
They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Let's see if they can get something going here late in the half. Leaves it with the running back. Out across the 30 mark, down at the 35 after the 10-yard gain.
It's so nice as an offense to know you can generate explosive plays by handing the football off to this guy. He has got incredible speed.
Pulls it and fires to the left. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Really good defense. You know, you're trying to stay as close as you can to all these targets, and most importantly, those open field tackles and getting them on the ground as soon as they catch it. That's a major deal for defenses, and that was a good example there of it.
Big play. Takes him into plus territory. He's out of bounds at the 47.
It is so good for an offense early in the game to get in a rhythm and to start stringing first downs together. It makes the game really easy and puts that defense in a situation where they're starting to get tired. They want to sub. They want to get other guys in the field. Stringing first downs together like this makes it hard to defend.
Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be first down.
Wow, 4 plays on this drive by the offense. They already got 3 first downs. We knew they had a lot of playmakers coming into this game, and they're showing that right now. This defense is going to have to make a play at some point here and stop the bleeding.
Down to 2 minutes before the half, and they'll take the timeout and see if they can add a little more before the break. They've got it at the 36. It's a 1st and 10. Might as well give it to him again. And just wedges it ahead a bit before he's brought down.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough. But how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Picks up the first down and gets down to avoid contact.
And he's really proven to this defense that he's just not a one-trick pony. He can beat you through the air, and now he can do this. Now he can take off and scramble, move the sticks, get his first down for his offense. This defense, they're starting to learn pretty quickly. This guy is a talented joker at quarterback.
Got it into the red zone, dragged down at the 18-yard line.
Defense is all about creating negative plays, and he does a really good job at the quarterback spot of not taking sacks. Like, that's a great job. He wants to throw the football. The clock goes off. He takes off.
That's a high ball. Picks up the ball and tries to make something of it. Touchdown, Panthers! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
And, man, the defense really needed to stop there. They needed to create some momentum, get the ball back to the offense before the half. But the offense does their job, and they continue to pile on, continue to create momentum. There's going to have to be some questions answered at half with this squad because it's been a struggle in the first half.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Hey, guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on a game happening in the SEC. Miami has the lead right now, but this Canes crowd is restless. They just haven't been able to separate themselves yet there in the 305. They're up by 7 over Kansas State. Implications galore inside the SEC, and we'll circle back if anything big should happen.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Not a chance he lets that one go. He's bringing it out. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. They'll snap this one to start the drive from their own 22. To the air. It's Van Buren. Right on the money. Creates a little room. He goes out of bounds right at the 37-yard line. A good, productive play there to get things going. They really got things moving on this drive. Second play of the drive comes from the 37. Quarterback strolling away from heat. Makes the catch. It's Durham. And he'll have to check his fillings after that lick, but he did get the first down. It'll be a first down from the 49-yard line. Looking to throw on first down. Pressure coming. Bought a little time. Lets it go. Just a short pass to the tight end. Push down for the tackle.
And you got to love the versatility of the big fella. You can put him in the box and let him block big defensive linemen, or you put him in the slot and you throw him the football and have success.
Fires toward the end zone. And they can't hook up. Going for the big play on second down. Now it's third down.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments.
It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. And they make the play and make sure there's not any scoring opportunity right here before the end of the half.
When you get that quarterback and he starts to leak outside the pocket like that and roll, you roll with him. Those linebackers are supposed to move and shift with him, start to take away the field towards the sideline, because think about it. He's not going to throw back across his body. The defense read it well, moved with the rollout, made the big play.
Just enough time for one final play of the half. Wants to go up top on first down. Pocket breaking down. On the run, and he'll slide to avoid the hit. A nifty pickup there. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. Pitt will try to boot this thing deep to start the second half. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. To throw, it's Van Buren. Finds his man, it's Durham. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Motion from the wideout. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. He's going to take off. At midfield, he's got room. He's into plus territory, knocked out of bounds after the nice game. Mark it at the 47. The offense has it now at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. From the gun, running back gets to give. And he picks up the first down, but he will remember the price he paid after that hit. LSU getting set on 1st and 10. The play action fake. They're working that left side. And he's still running after the move. Knocked out of bounds. They're in the red zone. Mark it at the 17, and they are set up.
And when you're running the ball well, QBs love going to play action. You get the linebackers starting to suck up closer to the line of scrimmage. They're keying on those running backs, and it just makes pitch and catch so much easier for these quarterbacks and receivers.
Oh, it's picked off. Oh, that's not the way to start a drive. They got him down pretty quickly after the pick, but now they've got it at the 15-yard line.
And some defensive backs just have a way of finding the football, and he's starting to develop that. His 3rd interception on the season, just has a good feel for playing that spot in the back end.
This drive will open from the 15. Out of the chute, quick toss to the right. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down.
Love the decision-making by the quarterback there on the RPO play. Defense took everything away deep down in the field, so just check it down, get it to your guy in the right flat, and let him go get yards.
Offense gets set for second down. They'll give it to the back. Not a whole lot of room to run. Let's give him a couple.
And, man, the big... Fraud, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
And the Panthers come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to keep the drive alive. Really nice job to get it past the sticks, pick up the first down at the 30.
And that's a nice 3rd down conversion for this offense. And I tell you what, the struggle for this offense has been stringing those first downs together. They're not in the top 50 in college football in first downs. They'll get one and then they kind of stall. Let's see if they can put multiple first downs together, get one of those long drives going.
Now on first down from the 30. They're going to ride this running back. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
And if this defense wants to get back in the football game, they've got to match the physicality of this offense. And that's a great start here in the second half. Like coming out, not letting them run the football, being the more physical and more aggressive team.
Wants to go up top. Trying to set up the screen. And he's knocked down.
Hey, man, sometimes you get the perfect play call at the perfect time. That time the defense blitzing, offensive line allowed everybody to run upfield, and they slip in the running back screen, and behind it there was nobody there to make a tackle, and this offense generates a massive play.
Picked off again. He's now thrown 20 interceptions. Touchdown, Bayou Bengals. And they turn it into a defensive score. What a play by this defense with the pick six.
And how about the defender? Exactly what you're supposed to. Breaks on the football, makes the interception. Everybody on defense, we turn to offense. Go lay some blocks so my guy can get it and take it back to the house.
Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. On the move from inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. They'll start this drive from the 18-yard line. QB draw. He navigates some traffic, steps out of bounds at the 27 as this offense tries to get something going.
Coaches always harp about staying ahead of the chains, and when you can run with that type of efficiency on first down, man, you are doing just that.
Power football with the run. And he is stopped immediately by the big defensive lineman.
Second is short equals bow up, be physical, move a hole, get a gap, let my back fall forward. That back had nowhere to run, no push up front. Got to be more physical, Jesse, on those second down and short situations.
So for that point, David, I think you got to stick with it if you're on offense as a staff. Challenge your guys to get some push up front. You've recruited this position really well. You need these guys to move some bodies because you've got a talented guy in the backfield that can hurt this defense if you just give him a crease.
Pitt coming to the line after getting another first down. The give to the running back from the shotgun. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
Well, there's a statement by the defensive line. First down play, expecting run, and they just dominated up front. Beat their one-on-ones and forced a tackle for a loss.
Wants to fire on second down. The short hands, it's Thomas. Breaks into the open. And he was loose and out the gate and doesn't go down until he gets to the 48-yard line.
It's a nice play call there. You've got 2-possession lead. You're trying to keep the defense guessing, right? Because you've got that lead, they know you're going to run it, but you still have got to be able to sprinkle in some shot plays and some vertical throws. That was really, really good thinking on that last play call by the offense.
Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Got the back over the middle. How about this sophomore stopping him short of the first down line?
Yeah, and you see running backs in today's football, they play wide receiver basically for you, but you got to find a guy that you can throw it to, and you know he's going to catch the ball consistently.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Looking to fire. Oh, they're after him. Steered out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. A big pickup, and they are threatening.
And how about this quarterback, man? He's showing you a little bit of everything. He's had a great day throwing the football, spinning it around, scoring touchdowns, and now shows you he can pick them up and put them down, scrambling for the first down. He's had a day where he's really showing you he can do all things on the football field.
After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line, 2nd and 7. Out of the gun, the running back has it. And some room to work. Nice pickup on the ground there. They'll move the sticks for the first down.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got the lead in the third quarter and you want to keep it, you got to bleed the clock. Best way to do that, run the football. And you're now seeing this offense call these run plays back to back. They are trying to be physical, and they're trying to stay on the field.
And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
And I think a lot of times when offenses run these counters, you're going to fake one way, right? Pull guys the other direction. If you can get some penetration really quickly, get behind those pullers, you got a chance to get in the backfield.
There he goes. They'll get it down to the 10-yard line on that completion. Into the field, they gave him a little time to figure out how they'll open the final period here on 3rd down. Oh, he'll keep it on the draw. Oh, he didn't get there, and what a stop against an offense that's been magnificent on 3rd down.
And you try to sneak this in here, right? 3rd down, kind of manageable situation, not too far, not too short, where maybe I can throw the football, but I sneak that draw, and their defense said, no, sir. I'm ready for that. Stuffs him on the 3rd down.
And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Hey, guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on a game happening in the SEC. Miami is running away with this one, thanks to an offense that may get its own 30 for 30 after this one. They're up by 28 over Kansas State. Week in and week out in the SEC, it's a battle of attrition, and if anything big changes, you'll hear about it here.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. Makes the catch. They stop him just a link or two short of the first, and man, what they can do on 2nd down here. And the Tigers come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. Dropping back, it's Van Buren. Grab near the marker, it's Durham. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with the first down.
And this offense is going to have to be aggressive, right? Down a couple possessions. Got to continue to get these first downs. Move quick. Don't be in a hurry. But they've got to keep the accelerator down because they need some explosive plays.
Looking downfield on 1st down. Going for the big play. And they dialed up a shot play, but they couldn't hook up.
One of the biggest reasons today why this offense is losing in the game is they haven't been able to get it going throwing the football. This guy still has not thrown a touchdown pass. They thought coming into this game they were going to have tons of success throwing it, but you got to give the defense credit. They watched the film. They've been mixing up their looks defensively, trying to confuse this quarterback, and again, on that last deep shot, it falls incomplete.
Almost had the completion, just missed it.
Ooh, there's an example, Jesse, of a receiver making his quarterback look bad. Most of the time, they make it look good and cover up for him. All those balls y'all don't throw online, but oof, that one hit him in a pretty good spot. He needs to come down with that one.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Gets away from one. Fires on the move. A missed opportunity on that errant pass.
The defense is in great position right now because they've got a huge lead here in the fourth quarter. They know the offense has to take shots to try to get themselves back in the game, so they're calling their coverages accordingly, and there was nowhere to go with that football. Really nice job by the defense being in position to force the incompletion.
How about this sophomore learning when to just do it himself?
Man, what a scramble by the quarterback. Fourth quarter, need a play, fourth down. He makes it happen. This home crowd is going nuts. We got a great one on our hands.
And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. Second down coming.
Hey, man, if you're going to force incompletions when the QB's thrown to the tight end, you better be physical. Nice job with the hit, forcing that incompletion.
Fires deep toward the end zone. Touchdown, Tiger! You thought they were done. They're not. They're back, baby!
And it's so underrated. The relationship between a QB and a wide receiver, the timing, the ability to know where he's going to be and be accurate with the football, that's what leads to nice touchdowns, Jesse.
Well, the chemistry between these two guys has to be great when they're throwing into the end zone because coverage is going to be tight. The throw might not be perfect, but this is something these two guys have been repping in practice over and over and over, and it's paying dividends now in the game.
And the extra point draws them closer. It's 31-24. So the kickoff team will come out after they turn in a score on that last drive. Fielded in the end zone. It's Robinson. That gamble did not pay off as they bring him down at the 12-yard line. They'll try to put a drive together, starting from their own 12. They'll try to keep this clock moving on the ground. Maybe picked up a couple as he gets to the 14.
And I think if you're the head coach, defensively now, obviously, you've got 3 timeouts in your back pocket. You're trailing at this point, and the offense is going to be running the football, trying to bleed the clock. They're going to take as much time off the game clock as they can before snapping it. You've got to start thinking about using some of those timeouts.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. They'll keep it on the ground. Works his way into the traffic and picks up 3 to the 17.
And ball security at this point is at a premium for this offense. You're backed up in your own end. You've got the lead, so you want to be able to run the football and stay on the field, bleed the clock. But you know the defense is going to be ripping away at it, right? They're going to be trying to get hats to the football and forcing a fumble. So whoever's got the ball has got to have 2 hands on it this drive.
Gets it out quickly. He gets it past the 25-yard line and finally knocked out of bounds at the 27.
You know, and that's disappointing for the head coach because you drill these 2-minute, 4-minute type situations late in games. You've got to have awareness and understand what you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to bleed the clock, and you can't do that if you're running out of bounds.
Situation here on second down is the exact situation this offense wanted to stay out of. You got the lead late in the ball game. You want to get positive yards, keep that clock ticking. Now in a situation, it's interesting. Do they want to throw the football? How much do they trust their quarterback not to make a mistake here late in the football game with the lead?
On the run, it's Goff. They get him stopped after a gain of 4 out to the 28.
Big third down for this defense. Listen, you've got to get the ball back. You know what they're doing. They're trying to run the football, but we need the clock to be on our side so our offense has some time. Got to make a stand right here on third down.
On third and long, try to convert through the air. Snags it inside the 20. Touchdown, Pitt. He got a step and just dusted the field. Boy, do they need that score. Gave them a little cushion as they try to put a stop to this 2-game slide.
Big-time players make big plays in big games, man. And it seems like each and every week when this guy has an opportunity in the end zone, he's coming up with the big one. That time, great job focusing and concentration. Defense not able to cover him. That's his now 10th receiving touchdown on the year.
And the extra point is true, and they have a 2-touchdown lead, up 14 in the fourth. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they close it in style with a 72-yard pass to the house. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. On the run from inside his own 5. He had visions of glory on that return, but he'll step out of bounds at the 29. Let's see what they have dialed up as this drive starts from the 29-yard line. He just couldn't hold his water long enough at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a penalty. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Looking to pass. It's Van Buren. Here comes the heat. Unleashes one. Wide open downfield. Turning it on. He finally goes out of bounds, but you better check that laundry on the field. Some penalties hurt a little bit more or a lot more than other ones. That one wipes out a huge game. Looking for room. It's Durham. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the first half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time when you need to be able to score some points. So either get it done through the air or you've got to be more physical up front.
They'll run play action. Here's the heat. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
I think at this time you just have to throw caution to the wind. You're down by a lot. You're deep in your own end late, so you're just going to be throwing it. The defense knows it. They're pinning their ears back. You're going to have to get rid of it early. Someone is going to have to step up and make a play, and that's going to happen a couple of different times if you're going to win this game.
On third and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's fourth down.
Now, I understand the sense of urgency for the offense now because you're trailing here by a lot in the fourth quarter, and you're just trying to take a shot to see if you can get on the board and get some of this momentum back. But the problem is the defense understands that, so they're playing coverage, and they're doing a good job on the back end. Nice job forcing the incompletion.
On fourth down, trying to find his man. Trying to pick up the first out of the backfield. He will not get it. A fourth down stop for this defense as they try to salt this one away. Great place to start for this offense. The handoff, keep working on that clock. At the 20, he's got space. And he ran away from the defense to take it in. Touchdown, Panthers. They're now in really good shape to get back into the win column as they extend the lead here late. That one might have put the finishing touches on this game.
This one is over. Game, set, match. The defense had a chance to maybe kind of keep their team in it, but the offense said, take it to the locker room.
Kickoff unit getting some extra work as this lead has really grown. He'll take the return, try to get better field position. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. A little bit backed up to start this drive from their own 18-yard line.
221 wing, 221 wing.
Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game. The offense couldn't get the snap off in time, and it'll cost them.
Let's go! Let's go!
Looking for room. It's Durham. Still on his feet at the 25. Wide open spaces. The 30. 10. Touchdown, Tigers. And once he got away from the knee, they had no shot at catching him.
And a nice touchdown. Continuing to fight, continuing to play. This one, it's pretty much over. Down multiple possessions this late in the football game. It would take a miracle, but nice job by this offense continuing to fight, push the ball down the field, make plays.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. Smashes it through for the PAT. That one's going to get a little star marked beside it on the play sheet. One play, explosive, touchdown, just like that. A quick timeout called by the kicking team here. They're definitely up against it. Time running out, down 2 possessions. They'll try the onside kick. Cool as a cucumber as the hands team makes a sure catch.
And this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time when you know it's coming, and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
The Pittsburgh offense is back on the field. Final minute, this game's on ice. They can take a knee and run out the clock.
This offense has to feel great with how they're able to go out, execute, and perform big plays all game long. I think it's sending a statement, too, to future defenses down the road on the schedule. They're going to be tough to contend with.
Yeah, I mean, they got firepower, putting up so many points. This thing is easily over. Now they can just chillax, go back to the locker room, know they're going to get the victory.
And here comes the offense on second down. Back to pass. Quickly to the tight end. Oh, he's got some space. He's got enough for the first down, and that ought to be enough to put them in victory formation for the rest of this one. And with that one, he's now over 3 bills for the game.
And there's 2 reasons why, Reese. He's made good decisions, and he's been accurate throwing the football all game long.
From the 17-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Running back searching for a hole. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
They'll be perfectly content to go right back to the ground here on 2nd and 8. Now the play fake. Pressure all over the quarterback, and down he goes at the 24. Timeout called by the defense, and the clock is stopped with 18 seconds left. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. And he feels the heat coming in. It burns him up. Another sack. 4th down, and this crowd trying to help this defense rise to the occasion. They'll run for it. And that will be the final play as the clock strikes 0 here. Winning can become a habit. Now they've won back-to-back games and probably building a little confidence.
And you want it to be a habit. That's what you talk about as a coach week after week. Let's build. Let's create momentum and continue to build on it. Continue, and then you look up at the end of the season, you never know where you could be, what dreams you could bring to reality.
At the end of the day, I think good teams find ways to win games. And over these last 2 games, it hasn't always been easy. They've had to overcome some adversity, but at the end of the day, they were able to step up, make the plays necessary, and do that. Very, very impressive.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.